Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. The channel contains hundreds of different videos catering from beginners right through to the more advanced tyers and covering flies and patterns from all around the world. If you like what you see, stick around until the end of the video where generally you'll find the pattern description, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get on with the show.
Hi guys, so we're going to tie a fly called the Claret George. So this is a variation of the Gorgeous George, or actually in claret colours. Tying it here on a B175. This happens to be a size 10. Again, this is another one of these flies with multiple hackles. I'm going to use our Rear Zap Exact bobbin. If you want one of those, you can check out Anthony McCann, Stay Hooked. And I'm going to use Viva's 10-0 Black to tie this fly. So, holding my thread up like this allows it to slide down, keep the wraps nice and tight. Take that down to the rear. And what I'm going to do is put a tail in. So the tail is this Glow Bright number 5. It's a yarn, this one. So now depends, you want a good thick tail, tie it on, double it, or you want it maybe a little bit more refined, shall we say. I'm going to put it on as a single thickness, a couple of wraps across it, and then I'm just holding it while I pull it down just to shorten that bit up a bit. So that's tied in down to the bend of the fly here, and then I'm going to trim this off. Probably what, half a body length or so. So I'm going to tie it in slightly unusual order in that this fly has legs, and the legs are black knotted pheasant. So I'm going to tie them on now, and then I'll reverse them later. So 4 to 6 legs, I suppose, would be general. So I'll try and count those. Strip that off just stripping those off the thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these in at the front now, so that the tag ends of them are actually under my body, so they're not taking up room here at the front where I've got to put in another couple of hackles. So when I tie in the other hackles, etc., I will reverse this back over. So now we want to tie in a rib. It calls for a pearl rib, so I'm going to use pearl twinkle or crystal hair, whatever you want to call it. Tie that into the rear, and then I'm looking for a dark claret. Dark claret seal. So I keep my seals fair in these little dubbin boxes, and then I can just go along the range of colours to whichever one suits me. So I go for this dark claret. Not going to need a huge pile because we've got multiple hackles, so we need to leave room, so we don't need that long of a body. And again, if you were tying this on a shorter shank hook, which sometimes it is, again you would need even less. So black thread also underneath this suits the colour scheme. So we wrap on our body of dark claret seal. As you see, I have a little bit of a gap here just behind my legs, and that's where I'm going to tie in my dark claret cock hackle. So I'll strip that off, and I'm going So tie across that, a couple of turns behind those legs, a couple of turns in front, and trim. So, said this lots of times, but whenever I do a palmer tackle, I'll tend to put on 1 to 2 turns of it at the front to create almost a collar before I start to wrap backwards with it. I think that just helps with the shape of the fly, and I think it helps to support the hackles that come in front of it. So we wrap that backwards. Once we get to the rear, take our pearl rib and wrap it through in 4 to 5 turns. Got a few fibers down there. Tie that off at the front. This I'm going to cut off because I don't trust to snap it against the pearl tinsel. I'm now going to go to the front. I'm going to take my legs, sort of half to each side, fold all that back, and then take a few turns rearwards, and that'll hold down these legs, tie in the tinsel, and even off the hackle. Now, there are a couple more hackles to go on this. So firstly we're going to use this sort of clarety, magenta, ruby sort of coloured henny type hackle. It's an under-hackle, it's called. I don't want too much of this on, maybe 1 to 2 turns of it. So I'll just take that, fold it back, nip it out, and find a couple of fibres either end at the end of the stalk to create this little gap. Present that up against the tie-in point, 1 turn across it, fold it, and then a couple of turns over it to hold it in position. And then I'll just slide it between my finger and thumb and snap it apparently. Let's try that again. The stem on this is very thin. Hopefully it won't snap this time. Actually, I'm happy enough with one of that. So turn across it, fold it back, and tie over it. And then snap it. That just gives a nice lift and colour to the darker one underneath it. I think supports it and helps give it a nice lift. Right, so front, you could use J. Or use a dyed grizzle hackle. So I'm going to use a blue dyed grizzle hackle. I'm going to double it before tying it in. So then I just snap it off, find a couple of fibres as we always do, tie into the little gap, fold it back, and then I'm wrapping, but I'm just stroking back and pinching it with each turn As I pinch it with this hand, it means I can let the hackle go with this one. And we can choose how many turns we're going to put on. So there's 3 turns on that. 1 turn across it, fold it back, tie over it and snap it off. And to finish this fly then we need some jungle cock eyes. So if you can either use split jungle cock, or what you want to do is get these tiny little feathers up here at the very tip of your jungle cock neck. I'm going to take a couple of those. Very fiddly. Set it up on the side, pinch it in place with my finger. I'm just going to fold that, see that little bit of stalk there? I'm just going to fold that back, tie over that, and then it won't slip out. And then I will get another one for my side of the fly. Same thing, take the feather, strip off the fluffy bit at this end of it. Set it up, I'm looking across the top of it just to check that they're the same length. Once I've stuck it on, a couple of turns and flip that stem back, and then create a head. 1, 2, 3 hitches, and then I will varnish the head. And while the head is wet, then I will put on several more wraps into that wet varnish and trim off my thread. And what will happen then is I will set this aside for the varnish to dry, and then at some point later on I'll probably put on a second coat of varnish, but that is our Claret George tied. So thank you for watching until the end of the video. Please take this opportunity to hit the subscribe button down below, tell your friends about the channel, and if you want to watch some more of my content, then check out some of the links that are appearing in your screens at the minute. As per usual, I hope you enjoyed the video, so until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.